this week's Parsha, we learn about the reunion between Yosef and his brothers and how Yosef divulged his identity to his brothers, to their shock and dismay that their brother, who they thought had been sold as a slave, was now the leading viceroy in Egypt. And Yosef makes this bizarre statement as he reveals his identity to his brothers. He says, Ani Yosef, I am Joseph, ha'od avichai. Is my father still alive? And the reason why that's such a bizarre statement is because the dialogue that had taken place between Yehuda and Yosef, between Judah and Joseph, prior to Yosef divulging his identity, had been centered around their father Yaakov. And Yehuda is telling him, our father, he's so old, he's fragile, his health is in decline, and if he doesn't have his son next to him, who knows what may happen to him. So he was clearly told, Yosef was clearly told that Yaakov was alive. So why immediately when he revealed his identity to his brothers did he ask the question, Ha'od Avichai? And one of the commentators says something very interesting. We in our lives many times have an aha moment. What do you mean we have an aha moment? Like we can identify a certain time we're like, aha, that's why all this occurred. Like that's why I had to go around the block, and it was just because aha. Now I understand what God had intended. Originally, I was frustrated. I was confused. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know why things were happening. But aha, I realized that God had a plan. And that's what Yosef was saying. He was sold as a slave at the age of 17. He was confused. He was upset at the time. Why is such a horrible thing happening to such a young man at that time? But many years later, Yosef realized why he was sent to Egypt. He was sent to Egypt so he can not only be the viceroy for Egypt, but he can provide sustenance to the people around the world that were suffering with this severe famine. And he declared, Ha'od Avichai, my father still lives on. My father in heaven still lives on, because he realized that God had a plan for him. And that was Yosef's aha moment when he revealed his identity to his brothers. Folks, in our lives, many times we're confused about where God's hand is in our life. And we have to have that faith sometimes. But many times we are fortunate to have that aha moment. Let us be encouraged by the story of Yosef, always to see the hand of God in our life. Have a wonderful Shabbos.